third grade, and happy Friday! Woo! Okay, I hope today that you've already done your freckle fact practice. You can do it 2 times, and the materials that you need for today is something to write with and something to write on. So, write with, and on. That's all. I just want to see you doing the word problems with us. I want to see you doing your work. All right, so let's move on to our word problem of the day. We are going to rip it apart. I'll read the problem. I, identify the important information. P, plan how to solve it. P, draw me a picture. E, execute your plan. Solve it. And D, does it make sense? Check it. All right, so let's take a look at our problem for today. Amber has 72 mint candies. If she eats 8 mints per week, how many weeks will her mints last? Well, let's get our ripped up top. Let's see, R-I-P-P-E-N-D, ripped. Now, we've already read the problem. So let's cross that off. I, identify the important information. Let's see. Amber has 72 mint candies. We need to know how many, so I'm going to definitely say 72 mints. We'll go mint candies. If she eats 8 mints per week. 8 mints per week. And then we want to know is how many weeks will her mints last? So how many weeks is the big thing. So if I do 72 mints, 72 mints, 8 a week. So the size of my group is 8 per week. I'm looking for how many weeks, which would be essentially how many groups. Sounds like division to me. So my plan and my picture, I'm going to work and do a form of division. I can do division in a tape diagram. I can do it in number bonds. How do I want to do it? I could do it as an array. Let's see. Let's take a look at a tape diagram. So if I have a tape diagram, and I know I have 72 mints, and there's 8 mints per section, 8 mints per week, how many weeks do I go? Okay, so let's see. Our first week we do 8. Okay, I'm not at 72 yet. And then I do another 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. We'll do another 8. 8 times 3 is 24. We'll do another 8. 8 times 4 is 32. We'll do another 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Let's see, 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. I'm not there yet. Draw another box. 8 times 9 is 72. Works for me. So I could draw it like this. Now I could also draw this as a multiplication and division fact family. So I would draw the multiplication equation. So I would say 72 divided by 8 equals, I don't know. But I could say 8 times what equals 72? So it also has to do with knowing your fact families. So we could count these all out. I could deal them all out and count by ones and deal 1. Undo that. Do 1 in each box. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And deal out and make 8 boxes and then find out how many in each box. So there's a couple different ways that we did this. But 72 divided by 8 is 9. 8 times 9 is 72. So we execute it. Does it make sense? Now that I've gone through my fact family, and I can also do 8 times 9, and I can do my nines trick and put down my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 9. There's 7 on this side, 2 on this side, 72. Works for me. All right, moving right along. We are going to jump to a PowerPoint. So ready? Hold tight with me. Ooh. All right, yesterday we looked at reading bar graphs. Today we're going to make some bar graphs. So we're going to use the data in my frequency table, and we're going to use that data and we are going to build our own, and it says vertical bar graph. So a vertical would be a bar graph that would go vertically or up and down. So let's take a look. What's some of the first things we have to do here? First thing, we have to give the bar graph a title. What on earth am I going to be graphing? Now, what I'm going to be graphing is going to be found right in my frequency table. And it's right there. We're going to go with a lot of the information from the frequency table to help build our bar graph. So ready? Favorite one-topping pizzas. Next, we're going to create a scale. A scale is our intervals that go up the side. How big are the numbers going to be? How big of a jump are we going to take? Now, we always start our intervals at 0. At the very bottom is 0, which makes sense. And then it says, let's use an interval of 4. So we are going to count by 4s every time we go up a line. Our next step is we're going to add the survey choices. And when I say survey choices, you can see where it says the different types of toppings. We have cheese, pepperoni, beef, sausage, and I put them right on the bottom. And then we're going to label the side and bottom. So the cheese, pepperoni, beef, and sausage, what are those? Are those names of people? No, those are our one-topping pizzas that we're going to serve. And then 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, those are the numbers, the number of people who chose that as their favorite one-topping pizza. Now, we're going to draw the bars. So we've got our information all filled in. So let's take a look at cheese. When I look at cheese, it says, 14 is the frequency. So 14 people chose this as their favorite. So looking at my numbers up the side, I don't see 14, but I do see the number below 14, which would be 12, and I do see a number above 14, which would be 16. So I would think 14 would fall right about in the middle. And then I look at pepperoni. Pepperoni is at 10. There's no 10, so I'm going to see where it falls, which is in between 8 and 12. Now beef, I look at beef. Beef's an easy one. It's right to the line. There he goes. And sausage, there it is, right in between the lines. And this was an easy peasy pizza bar graph. Now we're going to look at putting it horizontally. I'm going to take some information and I'm going to set up my bar graph horizontally. So first thing we're going to do, just like last time, I'm going to put a title. So I'm going to give a title, and if I look at my title of my frequency table, it says it right here, favorite breakfast food. So I'm going to put favorite breakfast food. Makes sense? My next step, I'm going to create a scale. How about a scale of, how about a scale of 6? But last time when I did my intervals, I went vertically because my table went vertically. But now I'm not going vertically, I'm going horizontally. So my intervals are going to not go along the side that goes up, I'm going to go along the side that goes out. And you can see them right here. And again, we start at 0. Then our next step is to add the survey choices. What are we measuring? We're measuring our favorite breakfast foods, cereal, eggs, and waffles, and French toast, and pancakes. Oh my! And we're going to label the side and bottom. So the side is going to be our, the bottom is our number, and the sides are our foods, is what they are. And then finally, we're going to draw them in. And let's start from the top. We look at cereal. Cereal is 15. I don't see a 15 on there. So I would find the number above it and the number below it. And I would kind of see, it's about in the middle of the two. You can see my line. Eggs. Eggs is 3. So it's between the 0 and the 6. There we are. Waffles. Waffles, a 9. That's also not on my table. But I know about where it's going to go. It's going to go between my 6 and 12. French toast. Let's see. Ooh, French toast is an easy one. It goes right to the line. And pancakes is an easy one because it goes right to the line. Now, one thing you might notice, my bars in my bar graph do not touch. And if you notice in my horizontal and my vertical, the bars do not touch. You need space between them. Now, the only time they might touch is if I'm comparing, say, the same month, and I would say these are the number of days that it rained, and these are the number of days that were sunny, and I'm looking at, say, well, I could look at April or May. I'd have to add in number of days that it snowed because now we're getting snow days in April and May. But those might stay and they might touch, but that's because that they are comparing the same month. Now, these do not touch, so you need to make sure that there's some space in between your bars and your bar graph. Now we're going to take a look at, we're going to use the data from the scaled picture graph to create a vertical bar graph. Now we've already created picture graphs earlier in the week, and we've done our pictos that we've kept the same through, and now we're going to use that information and transfer it into a bar graph. And we've already got the titles, and we've got the sides labeled. So here we go. Looking at oak. Looking at oak, I see 4 trees, and each tree represents 10 trees. So 4 times 10. We're going to put our label up the side. Our intervals we counted by 10. Just like the trees we counted by 10, our intervals are going to be by 10. Same thing, then keeps it consistent. So oak, there we go. We're making 4 trees. We're going up 4 intervals, 40. Ash, if we look at ash, it is 1 tree and a half. So we're going to kind of do the same thing. Maple, I've got 3 full trees. So 10, 20, 30. And elm, I'm not quite looking at 3, I'm looking at 2 and a half. All right. Now, let's answer some questions that have to do with our vertical bar graph. It says, how many fewer ash trees are at the park than oak trees? Fewer. When I see that word fewer, I'm going to subtract between the 2 trees. So I'm looking at ash, and I'm looking at oak. So when I look at ash trees, I would see 15, and I look at oak, and I see 40. So I'm going to subtract 40 minus 15. 0 minus 5. Can't do it. So I'm going to, more on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So the 4 becomes a 3, and the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. So let's see. 25 fewer ash. Boop. Question number 2 says, how many trees in the park are not oak trees? Oh, not oak trees. So we're looking for any tree that's not an oak. So essentially we are going to add up all the trees that are not oak trees. So we've got ash at 15. We've got maple. I can look at maple and I read this graph and it says 30. I look at Elm, and Elm says 25. So we're going to add up all these numbers. So let's see, we've got 30 plus 25 plus 15. Let's add them up. So 0 plus 5 is 10. Put down the 0. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 2, 4, 5, 6. Plus 1 is 7. Let's see. Do we have 70 trees? Whoop, whoop. Looking at our next one. Now, we've already learned how to make a pictograph. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the data from our bar graph, and we're going to turn it into a pictograph. Let's see if we can do this. So looking at our cherry, or our apple trees, apple pies, good golly, I'm still making trees here. Looking at our apple pies, it shows that we've got 100. Looking at cherry, we have 125. Looking at pumpkin, we have 50. And looking at chocolate, we have 150. Whew, we're going to need to set up some good intervals on the pictograph. We're going to have to figure out how much is each pie going to be worth, because I'm not drawing 150 pies. Holy smokes. So let's think about what you could use for how much each one of our pictures is worth. How about 25 pies? Ta-da! So if we do 25, it would be like using a quarter each time. So think of it as a quarter. So 4 quarters equal $1, which would be like our apple pies. 4 pies, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal $1 or 100. Then I have 125, so we'd need 1 more quarter. So you can see the cherries have 5 pies. Pumpkin pies, 2 quarters would equal 50 cents or 50. So you can see we've got 2 pies. And for our chocolate pies, our chocolate pies, we would have, let's see, $1.50. So $1 would be 4 quarters, and 50 cents would be 2 quarters. So 6 quarters would equal $1.50. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 6 pies. Whew. All right, let's answer some questions about our pie sales. Number 1 says, how many more apple and cherry pies were sold than pumpkin and, chocolate? Now, this is a tricky question, because if you look, first off it says, how many more? How many more means I'm going to subtract. Now, I'm looking at subtracting apple and cherry, and then pumpkin and chocolate pies. So let's see, we're looking at these compared to these. Woo! So how many more pies? So we could kind of count the pies that we have for our pictograph. So if you look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pies. So there's 9 over here. And how many do we have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8. So there's 1 more pie in the apple cherry collection. And 1 pie equals 25. Let's see. Ta-da! And question number 2 says, if they made 150 pies of each flavor, how many pies were not sold when the fair ended? Oh, good golly. So how many were not sold? So if they made 8, just like this chocolate, so all the chocolates would be sold, right? Those would all be sold. So now I'd have to make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be 6 more on the pictograph. It would be 1 more on the cherry pictograph. And it would be 2 more on the apple to bring me to the same as the chocolate. Now we just count up how many extra pies did I make here. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 quarters. 7 times 25. Let's see, I know 4 is $1. So this would be 100 right here. And then I've got 3 left. 3/4 is 75 cents. So I have 175 pies that might not have been sold. Let's see. Woo-wee! Good job. All right, we are going to stop right here. It is definitely a busy graphing week this week. Now, there is also a Quizlet link that I'm going to attach in the description, and there will also be a Quizlet link that will be on your research page. This covers just your pictographs and your bar graphs. So make sure that you do the Quizlet. See if you can beat me. I don't think you can. And have a super duper weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.